This is no normal situation. We have an urgent task for thee, if thou art not too occupied with thy stalwart friend.
No, not really, Princess. I'm ready for anything.
Alright. I'll just be going then, I reckon.
Luna flew with phenomenal speed, forcing Rainbow Dash to do something she hadn't needed to do since her assessment at the Wonderbolts Academy. Put in an effort.
Where are we going, Princess?
She shouted over the roar of the wind.
To Cloudsdale's weathersmithy. Thou hast a rainbow to follow.
Luna shouted back.
What?
Luna offered no further explanation, and soon the pair approached the Pegasus Cloud City's industrial district. The air was cold and damp, and heavy with the spicy tang of liquid rainbow. Pegasi in safety gear toted baskets of snowflakes and barrels of rainbow to and fro, and heavy machinery thrummed and clanked in a constant basso backbeat. Luna approached one of the largest and oldest pumps, moving raw rainbow down to the assorted pools and basins and cloud ponds from which it spilled down to the ground below. Her horn flared, and the machine's controls glowed and adjusted themselves.
Whoa! Hey! You can't do that, Princess! The pipes will...
A rumble shook the cloud under Dash's hooves, and the needles in the machine's status gauges jerked to the right. A worried beige Pegasus stallion flapped over in a hurry. He skidded to a halt on sight of the princess.
Princess Luna, we didn't expect a royal inspection today. Could I help you with whatever you're...
Nay, we have no need for thee. Thou art dismissed,
said Luna flatly. She continued adjusting the machine. The cloud lurched heavily enough to make Dash and the technician stagger. The technician stepped to and fro nervously.
I don't want to be a bother, but...
Luna magicked off her dark glasses and then turned to glare at him, her eyes blazing white. He fled. Dash hovered over to Luna and angled to look her in the eyes.
Princess, this is a really bad idea. If you keep turning up the pressure, the machine's gonna blow.
Luna met Dash's gaze.
That is precisely our intention. We have need of a rainbow that doth reach beyond the edge of the skies themselves.
Dash stared in confusion.
Princess? What exactly do you need me to do?
In the far distance behind Dash, Luna watched a teal and orange streak gouge into the cloud streak like a falling star. A crowd quickly gathered around the crashed Pegasus. Luna narrowed her eyes. A magicked fog bank obscured the view.
Thou must follow a rainbow beyond the fairy borders of the world, Rainbow Dash, and seek out a creature of vast power, for Equestria shall soon have desperate need of her. Speed thee hence, swift one, and bring us back the Megan.
Rainbow Dash listened in respectful silence while Luna spoke. Then she flinched, sputtered, sniggered, and finally collapsed in a fit of raspy, choking laughter. Luna frowned. Her magically enhanced ears picked out bits and pieces of the distant crashed pony's gasped entreaties.
Like a living wave, covering everything. No pony left. No time. Go now. You gotta get out of here. Please, you have to listen to me. No, please. I know you don't. I'm not. Don't walk away. I'm not making it up. It's coming. It's coming.
Rainbow Dash!
Luna bellowed, stomping thunder from the cloud beneath her hooves.
This is no laughing matter.
Dash struggled to control herself.
I'm sorry. But Princess, how can I find the Megan? It's just an old ponytail for foals.
Like Nightmare Moon?
Rainbow's expression became stricken.
Oh. Yeah.
An instant later, the massive machine finally ruptured, and the entire cloud sank by a pony's height from the recoil as a massive multi-hued ribbon exploded forth from the shattered upper pipes. The glaringly bright rainbow stretched away into the distance, shrinking beyond sight. Rainbow Dash looked up in awe. What remained of her smirk dissolved.
Go forth, Rainbow Dash. Fly as fast as thy wings can carry thee. The rainbow will guide thee. Seek out the maiden and bring her back with thee to Canterlot. We shall await thy return there.
My princess!
Go now! That is a direct order from your princess, Rainbow Dash.
The Pegasus gave a single resolute nod before rocketing into the sky, arcing to follow the colorful path cutting the sky in two. Mere moments later, Pegasi swarmed into the area, some reacting to the explosion, and others spreading the word about the exhausted messenger's dire message.
Enough!
Luna boomed with royal confidence.
There is no cause for such alarm. This matter is well in horn, we promise you.
Luna stole a glance upward, where Rainbow Dash was already a speck on the horizon. Twilight, Applejack, Pinkie Pie, Rarity, and Fluttershy were gathered in the palace's grand hall, facing Princess Luna as she strode through the doorway. Princess Celestia waited at the back of the room.
Princess Luna! Applejack mentioned you needed Rainbow Dash for something important. Is she back yet? We were going to head out soon.
Luna shook her head.
Thy friend is far away, and swift though she is, she shan't return so quickly.
Twilight Sparkle raised an eyebrow at Luna's statement.
Far away? What do you mean?
Luna trotted forward. The group parted to allow her passage and followed.
Rest assured, it is a matter of crucial import, and a return shall merit a heroine's welcome.
Twilight turned to face her mentor.
Princess Celestia, did you know anything about this?
Princess Celestia stepped closer to the group of ponies.
My sister has acted faster than I expected her to, but I was aware of her concerns. Luna believes there is a great danger coming to Equestria, and she...
Celestia paused. She met her sister's gaze and let a rare, awkward silence pass.
She has sent Rainbow Dash to recruit an ally.
More than that, sister! A savior!
Luna stomped a hoof, the blow echoing in the vaulted room.
Now that she is being retrieved, we can all breathe easy. No matter what danger is coming, we...
Not coming! It's already here!
The 5 ponies and their 2 sovereigns turned toward the vast double doors, where a teal Pegasus mare was struggling in the grasp of 2 royal guards. The mare was wide-eyed and haggard. Sweat shone on her hide and in her tangled mane, and a hastily wrapped bandage covered her right flank.
Apologies, Princess. She crashed into the topiary garden and then flew straight here. She was too fast for us,
said one of the guards. Twilight squinted, and then her eyes widened.
Hey! I remember you! From the academy! Lightning Dust, you nearly...
That's not important! You need to evacuate. Head as far north as you can, now!
Twilight, Rarity, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Applejack spoke up at once, peppering the Pegasus with questions.
I don't understand what's going on.
Are you okay?
Darling, look at this. It's so important to leave the carousel routine. Dust Honey is everything for that. Does any pony have the slightest idea of what he's talking about?
What happened?
Princess Celestia spread her wings for silence, and then spoke when the ponies complied.
Lightning Dust, please tell us what's happening.
Dust sagged in the guard's grip.
I don't really know, Princess. I tried to explain in Cloudsdale. There was this ram, but he wasn't a ram. Or like a monster. And he did something to a volcano in the Badlands, and it...
Badlands? That's halfway across Equestria from here. Why aren't you warning Dodge Junction or Appaloosa?
Dust winced and looked away. Her wings drooped.
Appaloosa and Dodge are gone.
The ponies standing before Dust shared a shocked silence. Applejack reacted first, her voice a faint whisper.
What do you mean, gone?
Dust closed her eyes against the ugly memory.
This huge wave of purple slime hit them. Covered everything. It moved on its own, like it was alive. And it was covered in these big, staring eyes. Every pony who got covered in it just gave up. They lay there in the muck and they wouldn't move. They hardly even breathed.
Dust shuddered. Her voice cracked. When she opened her eyes, they shone with tears.
I wanted to do right this time. I wanted to prove that I wasn't I tried to help them. I tried to tell them, but they weren't fast enough. I wasn't fast enough.
She huddled up and hung her head, slouching on the marble floor like a vulture.
I couldn't save them. I flew away. They wouldn't listen to me. Even in my own city, they wouldn't even stop what they were doing to hear what I had to say. They were more concerned with that stupid weather factory than with me telling them that they were all about to. And when the sign came, it happened so fast that I couldn't. I thought maybe in Dodge or Appaloosa they'd be more likely to listen to me. But they didn't. And now they're gone.
Luna's eyes showed sympathy, but her righteous expression did not falter. Twilight's eyes tightened. She swallowed despite her dry mouth.
And now this slime is coming this way?
Dust nodded silently. Twilight stomped a hoof and spread her wings in defiance.
Well, we're not gonna let it get to Canterlot, or to Ponyville, or anywhere else.
Her friends agreed with varying degrees of enthusiasm. Princess Celestia smiled proudly and nodded in approval. Princess Luna remained silent.
You sound just like him.
Pinkie Pie tilted her head.
Who? The sheriff in Dodge.
Twilight lowered her gaze, her wings folded.
Princess?
Celestia nodded.
Go. Go back to Ponyville, all of you. Protect the ones dear to you. And you, Lightning Dust, spread the word in Cloudsdale. We'll send a royal escort with you this time. In the meantime, Luna and I will watch over Canterlot.
Her eyes met her sister's once more.
There is a lot we need to discuss.
The bus route did not go directly to Maple Street. Instead, it let out a whole street earlier, which meant Megan was about a half a block from her apartment building when the world went quiet. The silence had fallen subtly, with the perpetual noises of the city night being subtracted one by one. Now, on the vacant sidewalk next to the empty street, the falling rain made the only sounds. No cars or buses or subways provided background roar. No sirens or horns or burglar alarms or gunshots rang out. There was just the white noise, hiss, and patter of the rain, as constant and chaotic as television static. Megan shuffled to a halt, unable to find the strength to walk under the weight of the silence.
Now, child, it's gonna be okay. You know, when I was a teenager, you couldn't get me out of my shell for nothing. I had this high, squeaky voice, and these itty bitty little pincers. And then one day, boom, I sound like Caruso, and these whoppers pop out. Young lady, just where do you think you're going?
Gotta figure this out. This necklace means something. If no one's gonna tell me, I'll find out myself.
Melody, please! You're making a big mistake!
Hello?
Nothing.
Hello?
She repeated, louder this time. She prayed for someone to answer, even with shouted abuse. No answer came. Megan pulled her raincoat close and hugged herself. The damp chill in the air suddenly felt bone deep. A shift in some filth lodged in a sewer drain made a splash, and Megan jerked around to face it fast enough for her heel to kick up a fan of water from the puddle at her feet.
Hello?
Back the way she'd been facing, a whistling fast descent ended in a massive crash in a nearby alleyway. A trash can and assorted debris tumbled out into the street, propelled by a gust of multi-hued smoke. Megan turned back around too fast and slipped off her feet, sitting down hard in a shallow puddle. She could feel the aftershocks of the blast through her palms as she pushed herself standing again. Her ears were ringing, but the silence had already returned. No car alarms had been set off. No day shift workers were shouting from their windows. Nothing. Not even a stray cat.
Hello? Anybody?
Megan wiped her hands on her jeans and then slipped her right hand into her coat pocket. She squeezed the black plastic rectangle there and felt its reassuring heft. She squeezed the thing harder when the rain-accented stillness was broken again, this time by the sound of something moving in the alley. Megan walked forward with a dreamer's gait, tugged toward the impact site by some intangible yet unbreakable pull. She held her breath as she turned to look into the alley. The whatever it was had cratered the asphalt, scarred the walls, and scattered trash in all directions. The closest streetlight had lost its bulb, the narrow space infested with shadows. Megan stared into the darkness, trying to pick out any detail she could. She swallowed hard and willed her voice to stop quavering.
Is someone there?
There was movement in the alley. Something low to the ground shifted and turned.
It's Dog. A car hit a big stray dog and drove away.
Despite the plausible notion, Megan drew the device from her coat pocket. She slowly stepped closer, still in the grip of nightmare logic curiosity. When Megan got within 3 paces of the thing, it jerked up onto all fours and raised its head. Huge eyes, the color of raw liver, caught what little light reached them. The eyes widened, and the dog surged forward. With the click of a switch, the stun gun pumped 3 million volts through the no-doubt rabid dog. Harsh, crackling blue light brightened the alley like a camera flash, casting everything into stark relief for an instant.
Ouch!
Said the creature.
What the hey?
It wasn't a dog. Megan's world lurched. She stumbled backward, letting her weapon drop.
No.
She was gasping for breath. Her lungs refused to fill.
It can't be.
She felt icy adrenaline soak her veins.
It can't be.
Black smoke seeped into the edges of her vision. Her pupils were pinpricks.
It can't.
Megan's knees gave out. The pavement rushed up to meet her. The creature trotted out of the alley and looked down at the fallen being who had just slapped a lightning bolt into her hide.
It's okay.
Rainbow Dash nudged Megan onto her stomach with her hooves and slipped her front legs under the human's arms.
I didn't think you were real either.
By sunset, a wall of piled sandbags encircled the outskirts of Ponyville in anticipation of this sinister flood. The town's ponies had worked together with diligence and song, finishing the work in record time. All of the youngest and oldest ponies were safe and sound on the upper floors of homes and buildings, and most things of value were packed up with them. A heavy silence fell over the town, full of tension and anticipation. Fluttershy set down a tray of refreshments for the breakwall workers, and then alighted on the town side of the new wall, folding her wings and knitting her brows.
It's so quiet.
She whispered.
A little too quiet!
Pinkie Pie hopped out from behind a dirt pile and began playing a raucous tune on a small coiled horn made of crystal. Her frizzy pink tail flopped to and fro in time with the honking notes. Several watchful ponies in the surrounding area jerked in surprise and then fixed the pink party pony with disapproving glares. Pinkie's music petered out and stopped. She said through the horn and backed away sheepishly.
There, in the distance!
A Pegasus stallion hovering a few pony heights above Pinkie pointed a hoof southward. A dark purple shadow was covering ground far in the distance, spreading toward Ponyville from the south like the nightfall spreading from the east. The ponies at the wall leaped into action, double-checking its construction and shoring up thinner areas.
Lightning just seems so afraid of this thing.
Fluttershy hovered over to stand next to Pinkie.
What should we do?
Pinkie inhaled to speak, but then a full body spasm sent her wobbling back and forth. Her tail swirled and her eyelids fluttered. She finally came to rest after a straight-legged backflip. Fluttershy drew back in alarm.
Pinkie! I've never seen you get a Pinkie sense like that before. What does it mean?
Pinkie Pie was suddenly very, very quiet. She was still a stone for 5 heartbeats, but then she perked back up to her usual broad grin and loud, high voice.
It means we should go check on every pony else. Come on, Fluttershy!
Pinkie bounded away, Fluttershy scrambling to take off and hover after her. At the center of town, Twilight Sparkle and her favorite assistant were hard at work organizing the preparation efforts. Twilight's horn was glowing, as were the dozen parchments and half-dozen quills orbiting around her. The pens all wrote at once, a testament to the Alicorn's burgeoning arcane power. Spike the Dragon was scurrying this way and that, maintaining Twilight's in and out boxes by toting fresh and completed checklists and papers. A few yards away, Rarity's horn was also aglow. 7 blue glowing canvas sacks were assembling themselves one by one as they hovered around her, casting shadows over her pristine white hide. Each bag was stitched to sandbag perfection and embroidered with her stylized R insignia. Pinkie hopped over with a cheery smile.
Hey, Twilight. Hey, Rarity. Looks like the... whatever it is coming pretty soon. Have you seen Applejack anywhere? And is Dashy back yet?
Twilight's eyes didn't leave her work.
Applejack is fortifying Sweet Apple Acres, and Rainbow Dash is...
A few of the floating papers wavered.
still not back yet.
Oh.
Pinkie Pie's smile lost an inch or two of width.
Okie dokie then. If you see them, tell them...
Pinkie pondered for a moment.
Tell them Pinkie said to keep on smiling.
Will do.
Twilight was already half obscured by her swarming busywork, but the enchanted pages soon slowed once again.
Hold on. Why can't you just tell them you're...
Pinkie was already gone.
What was that all about?
I don't know. Just Pinkie being Pinkie?
Spike passed by with a pile of inventory sheets.
Maybe so.
Rarity narrowed her well-decorated eyes.
Maybe not.
Fluttershy shrugged apologetically, at a loss to contribute to the conversation. Her front hooves were outstretched to receive Rarity's shipment of haute couture sandbags for delivery. The timid Pegasus took to the air and headed back to the breakwall's dirt pile to have the bags filled and distributed, but a few wing beats from the site, a shadow loomed in the southern distance. Fluttershy drifted to the ground, and the bags dropped. Fluttershy's jaw did likewise. A surging, boiling, purple-black tidal wave was building a few hundred yards from Ponyville. The vicious sludge lashed and lunged as it flowed, like a clot of worms writhing in a thin bag. The outer surface was dotted with staring, shallow-socketed eyes that rolled to and fro in mindless stares. The wave crested and fell, and a rolling wall of the slime streaked toward the breakwall at a galloping pace. All around Fluttershy, ponies broke and ran and flew in a panic, desperate to escape. Fluttershy stood in mute shock until a galloping earth pony jostled her aside, and she snapped to her senses. She spread her wings and took flight seconds before the syrupy mass struck the sandbag wall. The first impact knocked half the sandbags flying, but the wall held back the noxious tide, until the tide began to climb. Fluttershy rose higher and sprinted for her cottage on the town outskirts. Placed on a hilltop as it was, the home had seemed pointless to fortify. But now, back in the middle of town, the air was thick with the stench of the purple muck and the sounds of ponies shouting and screaming and crying. Twilight and Rarity stood side by side, backing away from the roiling slime pouring through the street. Spike stood on the ground between them, weaving to peek between their legs as he followed them in retreat.
You should fly away, Twilight. Those wings aren't just for show, you know. I'm not leaving you.
Can't you carry her? I could sit on your back and you could...
I don't think I'm strong enough yet to fly while carrying a full-grown pony for long.
She turned to face Rarity.
And I don't want to risk losing you if I carry you with magic, or try to wing you out. One jostle to my horn, and I might lose the spell matrix. We need to find another way.
Rarity nodded.
Ah!
A fresh wave of the slime surged down the street, driving the trio back.
What is this stuff? Ugh. It smells like a used lava bath.
Twilight ignited her horn.
Whatever it is, don't let it touch you. Not even the tip of your tail. Lightning dust said it's dangerous.
She magicked up a rain barrel and cracked it like an egg, brandishing the two broad halves defensively. Rarity's horn flared as she magicked up a spare sheet of burlap and spread it like a matador's cape. She huffed and gave a flick of her tail.
Let that touch my cold fur? I assure you, Twilight, that is the last thing I will do.
Not far away, Twilight Sparkle galloped along the untouched upper walls of downtown Ponyville's buildings as if they were level ground. Her horn blazed from the gravity-bending spell, and Spike was clinging to her back between her spread wings, still and silent. Twilight vaulted the chasm that was a side street and skidded to a stop near an abandoned cart on the wall that was the ground. She magicked up the cart and smashed it into a narrow alleyway, wedging it in place and blocking the vile flood's path. She released the spell and flapped onto open ground.
Evacuate now! Do you copy?
Copy that.
Copy that. Copy that, Chief.
I truly hope that this crazy old man will not let those beasts travel up here.
What's the matter with you? He's not crazy. Look at this rain.
It's just another summer shower.
Everybody on?
All clear down here. Ready.
Raise the ramp, lads!
this wide world and see the power